everyone, welcome to this video where I discuss how I became a full-time photographer. Before you do anything, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. That way you see more of these videos all about personal development, chasing your dreams, being a cool person, all the things. Still trying to figure it out in my first 100 videos. This video is specifically about how I became a full-time photographer, but if you are not trying to be a full-time photographer, this video is still for you because I'm taking the basic principles that I use to leave my day job to do something in the creative field, and I'm just putting it all together for you. So if you would like to be a chef, an actor, a makeup artist, really anything, a writer, whatever it is, if you feel compelled to do it full-time instead of the day job that you might have right now, day job, night job, all the things, then this video is for you. So the first thing that you need to do if you are trying to pursue something else, it's get in the room. Get in the room. You want to get in the room with people who are doing what you do, doing what you want to do full-time, people who are authorities in their fields, people who are living your dream life. If you're saying, Amanda, I don't know any of those people, I don't know actors, I would love to be the next whoever, right? Then find that person and consume all of the content and all of the research that they have out. Let's say you want to be an actor. Okay, maybe do they have a biography that, you know, the person that you really, really love? Do they have their own podcast? Research interviews, understand their upbringing, their life, all of those things. If you want to be a makeup artist, who are your favorite makeup artists, and then just consume their content. So I had a big chunk of time where I was diving into photographers, people who left their day job. I was listening to podcasts, TED Talks, I was on webinars, I was at workshops, I was reading books, I was doing all of the things on websites, articles, all of the things that it took to consume and understand their lives and what it was like to be them and what it was like to have that career. I just did a deep dive and I did a bunch of research on it, and it's really cool because you understand how they plan their day, what you need to be successful, how their work-life balance is, what programs they use, how they edit, how they got their start. All of those things are really going to help you when you are planning to be full-time in whatever it is that you want to do. So get in the room. It's not a physical room, although if you know certain people in person, that's amazing too. You know, you are the average of the 5 people that you surround yourself with, and for a while, I wasn't hanging out with my friends. I was hanging out with people virtually, listening to my podcast, like just really to myself, to really just embody these people. And this is a step that cannot be skipped. It can't be skipped because in your research, you're going to find out if that's really the thing that you want to do. Imagine if you skip this part. You got full-time and then you realize that you hate your job because of all the things that come with it. My number 2 is plan ahead. I personally like to work backwards. Once you figure it out, you love the job, it's amazing, through all of your research, you want to have a goal in mind. Now, a goal without vision and a plan is just a dream. You want to plan these things out, so you want to work backwards. I might not know the next step, but I know that I want to be here by this time, and I know that to do this, I gotta do this and that and that and that. To me, it's easier. So when I left my job, I was working at Apple. I was a teacher for them, a creative pro, and I just knew it was time because it was harder for me to get to work. I felt like I fell into a depression. I was late to work. I just didn't want to be there. I was calling out, and I knew that I had to really start to take myself seriously. So I said, okay, by September, I want to be, actually, I think I said by the new year, I wanted to be done with my job. I wanted to quit. So I said, all right, if I need to quit at this point, how much money do I have to have in savings in the event I get no bookings? At the time I was doing weddings. How many weddings do I want to have booked for the next year to give me a cushion? Before that, how many shoots do I want to have scheduled for collaboration? I was working backwards. Now, the cool thing about that was that I kind of overshot, and I I was able to quit my job in September, which is before the launch, which is the busiest time at Apple. Because of my planning, it actually worked out. Third piece of advice is be brave. When I was working at Apple and I met someone new, I didn't introduce myself as someone who worked at Apple. They would say, what do you do for work? And I would say, I'm a photographer. Just because you're not doing the thing full-time yet doesn't mean that that's not who you are at your core, and that's not who you should be. My ex at the time, he was a photographer and videographer, and I so desperately wanted to just jump on his network of people and say, hey, can you hire me? But they wanted him. Those were his people. I had to build up my own network. The only way that I could do that is if people knew that I was doing the thing that I wanted to do. If nobody knew that I was a photographer, no one would hire me as a photographer. If nobody knows that you're a makeup artist, no one's gonna hire you to be a makeup artist. They're not gonna know. So every single new person that you meet is a new opportunity to introduce them to who you actually are, who you want to be. Because it's not a lie, this is who you are at your core. Just because you're not getting paid for it full time does not mean that that's not who you are. So be brave, introduce yourself as who you are truly. I remember one day I got a message from someone that I knew mutually. He knew I was a photographer. He said, hey, do you photograph food? I said, I have photographed food. I said, I have photographed food. He said, can you show me? I said, sure. I pulled together all of the food that I had photographed on my vacations. It was my food. It was like half eaten. It was not pretty. But for some reason he was like, that looks good. Great. Can you photograph tonight? Can you shoot tonight? I was like, yes. I was scared. I was like, I've never done this before, but I know that I'm a photographer and I know that I'm equipped to do the research to make it be great. So for the next 3 hours, I just researched food photography. There are things that I learned along the way that now I'm like, oh, that was not that great. And I killed it enough that they liked the photos. So that was that. That was awesome. But if I wasn't brave enough to say, yes, I could do this, I have since been published in magazines. I can't even count how many times for food photography. But it took me being brave that one time, which is insane to me, right? So don't cut yourself off from the opportunity. Introduce yourself as who you want to be. Number 4, make sacrifices. Along the way, you're gonna have to make sacrifices with your time, with your money. Something that I don't think that people understand is your day job has to fund your side hustle for a time. It just has to. My side hustle was funded by Apple when I was working there. So all of my money went into, when I was working for Apple, I went and I was buying cameras, I was buying lenses, I was buying tripods, I was buying microphones, I was buying batteries. All of those things add up, and I really had to make sacrifices on what I bought otherwise so that I can put that towards my side hustle. I had to say no to buying clothes, I had to say no to vacations, I had to say no to hanging out with friends, I had to say no to sleep when I was editing late at night after my job. I had to say no to time by myself because after I was done working at my day job, I would go do photos, or I had to say no to sleep when I had to wake up early to do a sunrise session and then go ahead and do a shift at my job. So there are a lot of sacrifices that you have to make along the way. I think that a lot of people don't understand this when they're creating a new business or a new venture. I don't know why they ask photographers for free stuff all the time, and they'll say, well, you know, this is a new business, we don't have any money yet, so we don't have a budget for photography. And I'm like, well, when I first started my business, I had no budget to buy cameras, but I had to buy the cameras to do my job. So I used the money from my day job to do that. You have to use the money from your day job. You're not going to be able to get things for free. People who don't pay attention, and that's just kind of how it is. In the same breath, I'll say that when I was first starting out as a photographer, I definitely did shoots for free because I needed people to be in my portfolio, because trees don't really pay bills, but people do. So, I mean, if you like photographing trees, by all means, but it's going to be a lot more difficult to sell a product like that. But yeah, you're going to have to make sacrifices. That is definitely important when you are doing what you need to do. Number 5, they're all important, 100%. I feel like this is the trajectory that I was on when I was choosing to go full-time. this one is gonna sustain you throughout, and it's keep learning. Don't stop learning. That room that you were in when you first started to be full-time, when you had it in your mind, stay in that room, but then deep dive, right? So keep up with trends in your industry, keep up with what other people are doing, all of the things, editing techniques, whatever it is that is around your niche and around your industry. Don't stop learning. Keep reading books, keep watching YouTube videos, keep doing all those things. Just stay engaged in it, because you never want to be falling behind in something that you just started. So that's a simple one. Keep learning, and keep your interest peaked in it. But that is all I have for you. I love when that, like, that's all I have for you. That was a lot, all right? That's a lot. And these are the actual steps that I took to quit my day job and to become full-time as a photographer. So I know that it works, and I know that the advice that I've given to other people who have done the same thing in their field, it works. So again, we're just gonna recap. This is get in the room, plan ahead, be brave, make sacrifices, and keep learning. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making it for you, and I hope that you give this a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, because more videos are coming. And just to give you kind of a heads up too, I'm going to use this actual plan, this trajectory, to be a YouTuber now. When people ask me what I do, I want to tell them I'm a YouTuber so that they can watch my video. I'm going to plan ahead. I'm already thinking, all right, by next year, I want to have 1,000 subscribers. So now what does it look like to actually do that? I'm working backwards. I'm getting in the room with other YouTubers, because I am watching their YouTube channels, I am reading the articles, I'm doing all these things, and I am making sacrifices. So I am filming before going to sessions, and I am filming and editing in tandem with editing all of my other work. So I'm doing it right along with you, and I would love it if we all go on this journey together. I will see you in the next video.